everybody, hey and welcome to this video. So today I thought I would film a little mini series on makeup for beginners. So for anybody who's just coming into the makeup world, who's not really sure, loves makeup, watches a lot of YouTube videos but not really sure what everybody's talking about, I thought I would give you my step-by-step guide on how to apply your foundation all the way through to your eyeshadow, lipstick, lashes, etc, etc. So I do always like to start by just placing a headband around my hairline. This is just purely to keep all my flyaway hairs out of my face. So, and also it helps with not getting a lot of the foundation products in your hair as well. And I'm also going to be showing you my must-dos, my personal must-dos and steps that I take for everyday makeup application. And step one is, besides that, so step two maybe, yeah, is going to be primer. So my first step in makeup application is the primer. I particularly like to prime my face because I do wear my makeup for a long amount of times, especially when I'm at work. So this helps to keep your makeup in place throughout the whole day. So I'm just going to use the Makeup Revolution Ultra Face Base Primer. So typically I like to put it on my hands and then literally just put it on. Then depending on how many breakouts I have, or which I usually always have, is dark circles under my eyes, I do then use colour correction. I don't always do this, especially if I've got clear skin. However, today I have got a couple of breakouts, so I will be using colour correctors. So for any breakouts or red areas, I use the green colour corrector. And then for under the eyes, dark circles around the eyes, anything like that, I use the orangey, peachy colour corrector. These are not something that you have to do. I personally just do them because I prefer to cover up my impurities. So you just want to put the green stuff, just dab it on wherever you want to hide the redness or your spots or whatever it is you're trying to hide. And then for under my eyes, I just put that peachy colour all around where those dark circles are, and then drag it down slightly past where the dark circles end or begin, whichever way you want to put it, just purely for when you're blending it out. It gives it that more flawless, seamless finish. I then also tend to take it up the top as well, just depending on what sort of discoloration or darkness you've got around there. I then like to take a beauty blender, and I usually spray it with some water, because this then helps you to blend out your products. And then with using like dabby motions, I'll show you. Just blend in the colour correction into your skin, but just making sure you're not moving it around your face too much. So our next step is foundation, and finding your perfect shade can be really tricky at times, especially with some brands not having all the shade variations out there. So just to find your perfect shade is going to take a bit of time. However, I find it's best if you're going to buy foundation, go to a store, don't have any makeup or anything on your face, and then just don't do the testing on your hand, because your hands are going to be a different colour to your face and your neck, and there's just so many different colours. Well, it is with me anyway. So I tend to pick out a few foundations that I think are my shade, and then just put bits on my face, and then you just sort of blend it in and see which one works best for you. So today I'm going to be using the Tarte Amazonian Clay Faux Coverage Foundation. This is in shade Medium Tan Beige, and however you wish to do it is different for everybody, but sometimes, so I tend to sometimes place my foundation on the mixing palette and then put it on my face, or as in today's video, I'm going to be pouring it onto my brush and then just putting it straight onto my face. and then I just put dots throughout the face, and then that helps you then when you're blending it in, then you know that you're not going to miss an area, and also you've got an even amount of product throughout the face, and then you'll know when you need to top up it again. And again, I just like to use patting motions to a certain extent, and then do a little bit of whatever this motion you'd call it is, like swirling it, just to make sure you get all the foundation all over your face. You want to make sure you bring it down to your neck and blend it out, just so that it looks more evenly spread and you don't have doesn't literally look like you've got an actual mask on your face. Again, which is a big problem if you've got a different shade of foundation to what your skin shade is. So our next step is concealer. I find with concealer you might want to go a shade or two lighter than your skin colour if you are going to be using it as a concealer, but also a slightly like a highlighter for under of your eyes and stuff like that, which I do tend to do. So I've probably got about 2 shades lighter than my actual skin colour and my foundation colour for my concealer. So again, with concealer, it's however you choose to use it and however and wherever you want to place it. So you can just place it on wherever your breakouts are or parts where you want to hide, but you can also use it as a highlighter, so you put it under your eyes and down the center of your face, and that is what I tend to do. So that is what I will be doing for this video. So I will be placing it on where the breakouts are and other marks I like to hide. So I'll be placing it under my eyes as well, to basically help with even more coverage on those dark circles. If you're hearing this funny weird noise, it's my dog. He's just breathing heavily, aren't you? Staring at me. So I tend to put it down the center of my nose. This then helps later on when you're contouring and highlighting your nose as well. And then just doing these in the middle. So this then just highlights the center of your forehead. Again, this all depends on also your face shape as well. You know, you don't want to be making your forehead bigger if you already have quite a prominent forehead, or this is also helps if you do have a smaller forehead and you want to make it look bigger. It is going to highlight the center of it and bring it more into people's view. And then also, I do tend to sometimes put it under my bottom lip. This also then helps with making your lips look bigger, which I don't really need any help with. However, I do sometimes do it, and I don't always do it. No reason, just whatever, depends what type of mood I'm in. However, for the purpose of this video, I will be doing it today. And also don't forget your Cupid's bow. When you're blending it in, again, using the pattern motions, just make sure you're sort of keeping it in place where it is, especially if you're trying to cover up any impurities. And also you can bring it onto your eyelids, and then this will sort of act as a primer for your eyeshadow, which I'll be showing you later on. So now that our face has been concealed and highlighted at the same time, the next step is setting it with a setting powder. Now typically you want to do this step fairly quite soon after you've applied and blended in your concealer, purely because you'll start to see under your eyes and on your eyelids, you'll start getting a bit of creasing and gathering of product, which is obviously not a good look. So if you do see that, the easy thing is just grab your beauty blender, pat it out again, and then pretty much straight away apply your setting powder. I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier setting powder, so you just want to take a big brush, dab it in, shake off excess product, and then but first place I tend to place it is on the top of my eyelids and around the eye area, again obviously for the reasons I just explained. So typically, usually everybody just sets the face where they've placed the concealer. However, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you will know I personally really like the matte finish to my face, purely because I have a lot of very oily skin. So therefore I do set my whole face with this powder, just because it helps with keeping your foundation matte throughout the day. And then also throughout the day, if you get shiny, oily, which I do, then I just top up the setting powder instead of having to redo my makeup or anything, because this setting powder is brilliant and it does keep your makeup in place. So typically my next step would be to do my brows, however, and then I would do my eyeshadow and then I finish off my face. However, for this video, because I am doing step by step, guys, I am now going to move on to contouring and highlighting, just purely because this video is all about how to apply the base makeup on your face. So yeah, so now I will be basically showing you how I contour. So with your contour products, you maybe want to go one shade darker. I've probably gone a couple of shades darker than my actual colour for my contour, but I do like my contour quite dark. But do be careful if you are going darker, because some of the dark colours do not blend as easy as you think they would, even if they are powder products. Cream products are a whole different era. I'm not personally a fan of cream contouring, so I do use powder products. So I am going to be using a mixture of the Too Faced Cocoa Contour Palette and the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. So I will be starting with using a lighter colour. So I'll be using this shade here, which is Cocoa Butter. I tend to just basically like to put this under my eyes and down the bridge of my nose, basically everywhere you've put the concealer. This is not anything that you need to do. This is purely for me. I like to basically put a lot of powder products on top of any cream products, just because it helps with mattifying them. Again, you may not want to do this if you have got dry skin, like you might want to consider cream products, or like just using like minimal powder products. I personally do this just because purely, like I've said before, I have quite oily skin. So I'm just gonna basically put in where I put all that concealer. And you don't want to go using loads of product on it. I just lightly tap it in, just literally like tap, and then tap off excess, because again, you don't want to be 5 different shades on your face. So this is just helping highlight where you've already highlighted. So then for contouring, I'm going to go in with this shade here from the Anastasia Beverly Hills kit, and basically you just want to get like a blusher or angled brush. I do use a smaller one just purely because it's easier. It's not so then it just helps you build up instead of it just being a prominent block of colour and then not being able to blend it out properly. I've made them mistakes a few times. And again, with the product, you just want to do a light dips, tap off your excess, and then sort of line up like halfway to your ear, where you can already sort of see like a cheekbone contour shape. I mean, maybe I can see it because just purely because I'm used to doing it and I know where my contour line is, if that makes any sense. So you just sort of want to go like from just this part of your ear down here, and then you just want to lightly bring it down and then just brush it upward. This just helps with giving it that contoured look and a bit more of a chiseled blended look as well. And then just blend, blend, blend. You don't want to be bringing it too far down to your mouth either, because you just don't want to look like you've got one long brown stain coming out of your mouth. Again, on the other side, just sort of measure where your ear, halfway through your ear, and then blend back. Sometimes it might help if you do a little bit of pouting, and then it shows you where your cheekbones are, and then you'll know where to sort of go up with the colour as well. And then with any remainder products on the brush, I tend to just go under the jawline and just to help give it a little bit of shading. You don't really want to pick up any extra product for this, because then you'll just look like you've got really bad tide lines or something. It's just not going to be a good look. Maybe you want to take that shade that you've used on your cheeks, obviously you don't want to use any different shades, and then go along the edges of my hairline and just lightly brush it in. So then just push it back into your hairline. Just then this helps with blending everything into your hairline, and it just looks a bit more seamless. For my nose contour, I tend to use a different bronzer, just slightly a little bit lighter than the ones that I use on my cheeks and everything, just purely because this is probably the area I struggle with the most, and this then, when I use a lighter shade, it stops me from looking like I've got a dirty nose. So I just use this bronzer from Bourjois. It's shade 51. And I just take a flat topped brush, lightly dip it in, and then just sort of go down, however, sort of, depending on how small or big or whatever sort of shape you want on your nose, you just draw, just gently blend down, and then I just use circular motions just to blend it out. Tend to just round it off at the end. So our next step is highlighter. I will be using the Winter Highlighter Palette by Huda Beauty, and I'm just going to be using this shade Arctic Glow, which is pretty much my only favourite shade from this product. Yeah, not the best. For this, I tend to use a fan brush. This helps with placing your product and blending it out correctly, depending on how you like your highlighter. Though, if you like big, like a massive glow, then maybe you want to use like a thinner sort of brush, or just apply a lot more product onto your brush. So I tend to just fan it in, knock off excess, and then just using it sideways, just going along your contour line there, just adding it on the highlight, and then just blending it backwards and forwards. Then with your highlight, you just go along here where you've contoured on your sides, just do a little brush there, and then you go back in, and then don't forget you do your cupid's bow, and then I tend to turn it on the side, and then just highlight the centre of the nose. It's the one bit I do like quite highlighted, and then just put the remainder product in the middle of your forehead. So then typically I personally like to put on my blush after my highlight, just purely because then it gives you more of a subtle glow instead of a in your face glow. However, this is an optional way. You can obviously do your blusher first if you wanted to. I just do it this way, especially if I'm going to work or something, just because you don't want to be looking like a light bulb at work. On a night out, that's a whole different other story. So for blush, I'm going to use this shade, Sensual by Tarte. Just going to lightly dab it in, shake off the excess, and then I just tend to normally start from the middle to the back of my cheeks, and then work it in circular motions. This then just helps with product placement, and then just sort of forgoing that whole clown look where you've got just a load of pinky, blobby, reddy stuff in the middle of your cheeks. So that's it for this video. This was the step-by-step makeup for beginners guide on how to apply your face-based makeup. I hope this has helped some of you, or even one of you. And again, these were just my personal must-do and must-have sort of tips and tricks. These are things that I've learnt by making mistakes and yeah, all of that jazz. So I hope you've liked this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, then why not subscribe to my channel? And I will see you in my next video, which will be a eyebrows and eyeshadow guide for beginners. So I'll see you then. Bye.